50 million years ago, Antarctica was a lush rainforest, home to terror birds nearly 10 feet tall. A newly discovered claw on Seymour Island confirms their presence, yet no skull, no skeleton has ever been found. Could something still survive beneath Antarctica's ice? Let's dive into it. When most people hear the word Antarctica, they think of an endless expanse of ice, relentless blizzards, and a silent, frozen wilderness where life barely clings to the edges. But over 50 million years ago, the Antarctica we know today was a completely different world, bursting with life. Back then, it wasn't a land of ice and wind, it was dominated by towering forests, dense jungles, and sunlight filtering through layers of giant ferns. Echoing through that prehistoric canopy were the cries of bizarre, powerful creatures, some feathered, others larger than any bird alive today. According to 2023 data from the British Antarctic Survey, parts of ancient Antarctica reached average temperatures of around 20 degrees Celsius, making it warmer than cities like London during spring. This dramatic climate was possible because Antarctica wasn't isolated at the bottom of the planet. It was still connected to a massive prehistoric landmass called Gondwana, joined with what are now South America, Africa, Australia, and India. These connections allowed animals to migrate, evolve, and thrive across vast, shared ecosystems. Fossils discovered on Seymour Island reveal that reptiles, birds, marsupials, and even tropical plants once flourished there. These aren't just remnants. They're clues to a thriving ecosystem in a place now covered in glaciers. And that's where the story takes a chilling turn. The same land bridge that connected Antarctica to South America may have served as a gateway for one of the most terrifying predators of the prehistoric world, the so-called terror birds. These flightless giants, some nearly 10 feet tall, ruled the landscape with their deadly beaks and astonishing speed. From rainforest to glacier, from a green world teeming with apex predators to the most desolate place on Earth, Antarctica didn't just change, it flipped its entire identity. Yet even beneath today's frozen silence, the past still lingers. Fossilized tree trunks, ancient pollen, and dinosaur bones whisper of a world that once was. And as scientists continue to uncover these secrets, one thing is certain: Antarctica's story is far from over. Over 40 million years ago, before this land was buried under ice, prehistoric Antarctica was a lush world of dense forests and swampy rivers. And in that primeval jungle, one predator ruled, fierce, fast, and unmatched. It wasn't a dinosaur. It didn't fly. But it ran with deadly speed and struck with terrifying precision. It was a bird. Standing over 6 feet tall and weighing more than 300 pounds, this feathered beast was no gentle giant. Its name? Phorusrhacos, also known as the terror bird. According to the report by the United States Geological Survey and the Argentina Antarctic Institute, paleontologists unearthed two enormous, curved claws on Seymour Island, dating back 40 to 50 million years. These fossilized weapons confirmed what many had only suspected: terror birds once roamed Antarctica. Unlike modern birds, they didn't take flight. They hunted on foot. Their beaks, curved like butcher's hooks, were built for piercing and tearing. They didn't need talons to kill, just a single crushing strike from that beak was enough. A study published in Paleobiology Today in 2023 estimated their top speed at over 31 miles per hour, on par with today's ostriches. But these weren't prey animals. They were predators. With forward-facing eyes and legs built for sprinting, terror birds dominated the forest floor. For years, scientists believed they were confined to South America. But this Antarctic discovery rewrites that theory. These apex predators once ruled the southernmost jungles of the planet when Antarctica was warm, green, and thriving. However, we've only found a claw. No skull. No full skeleton. Just one violent trace of a vanished hunter. The question is, what else waits beneath the ice? According to the Paleobiology Consortium review, the fossil record for Forest Rockois in Antarctica ends abruptly, without an extinction layer, impact debris, or any sign of collapse. The evidence simply stops. So what could have caused the downfall of a top predator faster than its prey, stronger than its rivals? Researchers have narrowed it down to 3 chilling theories. The first points to a slow and relentless freeze. As Antarctica drifted southward over millions of years, its climate cooled. Jungles thinned into tundra, rain turned to snow, and prey species dwindled. Core samples from the Wilkes subglacial basin, published by the European Climate Archive in 2024, show a steady decline in plant diversity leading up to the Eocene-Oligocene transition. As the food web unraveled, the terror birds faced a slow-motion extinction. They were engineered for strength and speed, but not for snow, explains Dr. Nina Talbot from the Global Earth Systems Project. The second theory focuses on their highly specialized diet. A fossilized gut sample discovered in southern Patagonia in 2023 revealed remains of rodent-like mammals, possibly a key food source. But as those mammals died off or migrated north, the birds were trapped in an increasingly barren land. Unable to scavenge or adapt, their survival strategy failed. The third theory centers on quiet competition. As mammals diversified and moved southward, they brought with them traits better suited for a changing world: pack hunting, burrowing, and temperature regulation. According to Dr. Kaito Nishimura of Kyoto University, mammals didn't crush them. They outlasted them. And yet no full skeleton has ever been found, only a single claw, frozen in time. Which leads to the haunting question: did they truly vanish, or did something stranger evolve beneath the ice? Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. In recent years, Antarctica has become one of the most dynamic fossil frontiers on Earth. And at the center of it all is Seymour Island, near the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, a place some researchers call the Rosetta Stone of southern prehistory. This 21-mile stretch of land, often blasted by sub-zero winds and buried beneath snow, is now revealing life forms lost for over 40 million years. According to the report from the British Antarctic Survey, more than 200 fossil specimens were recovered on Seymour Island during a single 3-month summer expedition. The finds include everything from ancient bird bones to fragments of giant penguins and fossilized plant material. But getting them out is no easy task. Field teams work in brutal conditions: frostbitten hands, unstable ice underfoot, and sudden whiteouts that can grind operations to a halt. Even during the warmest months, temperatures rarely rise above freezing. Dr. Jonah Caldwell, a paleontologist with the United States Polar Research Program, put it this way: some days the wind is so brutal your tools freeze to your gloves. But then you crack open a rock and expose part of a femur. Suddenly, the cold vanishes. You're holding a moment untouched for 50 million years. To speed up discovery in these extreme environments, scientists now use drone mapping systems, ground-penetrating radar, and high-resolution core sampling. These technologies allow them to scan deep sediment layers without disturbing the fragile ice above. One breakthrough came in 2024, when core samples pulled from the Transantarctic Mountains revealed traces of ancient organic material locked within volcanic ash. This could be evidence of long-lost forest canopies, and of the predators that hunted beneath them. But these teams aren't just chasing bones. They're hoping for something more: a complete, fossilized terror bird. A skeleton that could reveal how it lived, how it hunted, and what ultimately drove it to disappear. Of course, with a continent twice the size of Australia and mostly buried under ancient ice, that search could take years. Still, with advances in technology, rising global collaboration, and more ground exposed each year by glacial melt, Antarctica is slowly surrendering its secrets, one frozen clue at a time. Beneath Antarctica's massive ice sheet lies a concealed world, one that scientists are only beginning to explore. More than 400 subglacial lakes have been identified across the continent, sealed off from the surface for millions of years. The largest of them all, Lake Vostok, rests beneath more than 3,700 meters of solid ice, according to the 2025 Geological Survey of Antarctica. This lake has never seen sunlight. No wind stirs its surface. No snow falls. And until now, no human presence. Yet it moves. In 2023, seismic instruments detected slight shifts in the ice ceiling above Lake Vostok. These tremors, analyzed through the European Space Agency's cryosat data, suggest either geothermal heating from beneath or pressure changes possibly linked to biological activity. That opens up a possibility: could life have adapted in total isolation? If microscopic organisms managed to survive in these sealed, ancient lakes, could something larger have done the same? And if terror birds were as adaptable as we believe, fast, powerful, and potentially resistant to colder climates, could they, or an evolutionary cousin, have endured far longer than we once thought? Of course, no conclusive evidence has been found. No frozen feathers caught mid-strike. No perfectly preserved skulls waiting in the ice. But Antarctica is a master of concealment. According to the 2025 report by the United Nations Environmental Science Council, less than 0.5% of the continent's landmass is currently accessible for fossil research. That means over 99% remains buried, untouched, unexplored, and possibly hiding the answers we're still chasing. What do you think is hiding beneath the ice? A new species? A forgotten predator? Or something even stranger? Drop your theories in the comments. We love hearing your wildest ideas. While towering terror birds dominated the land, Antarctica's ancient world teemed with predators above, below, and deep within its icy waters. This wasn't just a wild place, it was a battleground of giants. Forget the tuxedoed, waddling penguins of today. In prehistoric Antarctica, penguins stood eye to eye with humans. One species, Paleodypt klakowski, reached over 6 feet in height and weighed nearly 250 pounds. As documented in a 2024 study by the Museo de la Plata in Argentina. These weren't awkward swimmers, they were torpedo-shaped hunters, slicing through the Southern Ocean with deadly precision. Their long spear-like beaks turned them into efficient fish and squid killers. And deeper still, hidden in the cold blackness of the ocean, stranger beasts waited. The colossal squid Messinicotoothed hamiltoni still haunts these waters today. But in the past, it may have been even more massive and more aggressive. Modern specimens, according to the NIWA Southern Ocean Research Program, have measured over 40 feet in length. Their eyes are as large as dinner plates, and their tentacles are lined with sharp, swiveling hooks, powerful enough to scar whales. These giants hunt in darkness, striking fast and dragging prey into beaks lined with serrated edges. And while today's colossal squid remains one of Earth's most elusive predators, its ancestors may have been even deadlier. Meanwhile, patrolling the frigid waters above were orcas, still among the most intelligent predators on the planet. But their ancient relatives weren't just smart, they were strategic. According to tagging data from the World Cetacean Monitoring Council, modern orcas in Antarctic waters use coordinated hunting tactics, encircling prey with wolf-pack precision. Scientists believe this behavior may have evolved from earlier, larger ancestral pods, making ancient orcas even more formidable. In prehistoric Antarctica, predators clashed with predators. Giant penguins hunted beneath the waves. Colossal squid rose from the depths, and orcas stalked them both with calculated teamwork. It wasn't just survival, it was dominance on a scale few ecosystems have ever matched. So how did Antarctica turn from a cradle of giants into the frozen graveyard we know today? In the year 1986, a colossal tabular iceberg, later named Iceberg 23 Alpha, broke away from Antarctica's eastern coastline. But instead of drifting into the Southern Ocean like most icebergs, it did something unexpected. It got stuck. For nearly 40 years, this frozen giant remained pinned along the coast, held fast by the seafloor. It wasn't until 2024 that strong ocean currents finally dislodged it. But even then, it didn't drift freely. It was pulled into a swirling ocean vortex, spiraling for another 8 months before finally beginning its slow journey out to sea. According to the Antarctic Marine Dynamics Report, the path of an iceberg is far from simple. Movement is shaped not only by gravity but also by wind patterns, tidal forces, underwater ridges, and deep-sea currents. What may look random is actually controlled by a complex, shifting system. And that brings us to another common misconception, one you've probably heard. Some online rumors claim humans can't travel more than 311 miles inland in Antarctica, blaming everything from impassable ice walls to frozen jet fuel and even low oxygen levels. There is a wall of ice, but it's not a science fiction barrier. It's called an ice shelf. These shelves form naturally when glaciers slide off the continent and extend over the ocean. According to the National Snow and Ice Data Center, ice shelves make up approximately 34% of Antarctica's coastline. They can rise hundreds of feet above sea level and stretch for miles, but they're entirely natural. And yes, humans do go well beyond 300 miles inland. At the very center of the continent stands the Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, a fully operational year-round research facility. Scientists, engineers, and support staff rotate in and out regularly, conducting experiments in everything from astrophysics to climate systems. Supplies arrive via airlift or overland convoys. It's not a conspiracy, it's just science and logistics. One of the most viral Antarctic images shows what looks like a rectangular doorway carved into a mountain. Speculation online has linked it to alien bases, secret military installations, or hidden portals. But the truth? It's just a grounded iceberg. A chunk of floating ice that drifted into shallow water, got stuck, and began to melt unevenly. Over time, wind, sun, and pressure from surrounding terrain sculpted it into a shape that appears artificial. According to a study by the European Cryosphere Imaging Program, Antarctica's wind and temperature fluctuations frequently produce symmetrical formations in ice and snow. These optical illusions are common, especially when viewed from satellite angles with low resolution. So while it might be tempting to believe in mysterious gateways and hidden worlds, the reality is stranger still. Antarctica doesn't need myths. Its frozen truth is already extraordinary. What's the wildest Antarctica myth you've heard? Drop it in the comments. Let's separate fact from fantasy together. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. And coming up next, how do humans survive in one of the deadliest places on Earth? We take you inside the Antarctic research stations that keep science alive at the edge of the world. Along the frozen coastline of Antarctica sits McMurdo Station, the largest research hub on the continent. But it's more than just a collection of laboratories. It functions as a small town. According to the United States Antarctic Program Annual Report, McMurdo Station supports up to 1,250 residents during the peak summer season. The base includes dormitories, a fire station, a chapel, a fully equipped gym, a greenhouse, and a cafeteria that serves hot meals around the clock. And yes, it even has Wi-Fi. Here, scientists investigate everything from glacial movement and climate change to cosmic radiation. But when the research wraps up for the day, life continues. Some researchers unwind with a volleyball match in the gym. Others gather for movies in the community lounge, or simply focus on staying warm in a place where the wind never truly rests. But travel farther inland, into the heart of Antarctica, and you'll reach the Amundsen-Scott South Pole Station. Built directly on the geographic South Pole, it is one of the most remote and unforgiving places on Earth. Here, survival is not assumed. It is earned daily. Everything needed to sustain life, food, fuel, equipment, even toothpaste, is flown in by long-range cargo planes. There are no roads, no nearby towns, no backup plan. Winter temperatures can plunge below 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sun can disappear for months on end. Inside insulated modules, scientists conduct pioneering research in astrophysics, glaciology, and atmospheric science. Outside, their breath freezes midair. And yet, the work continues. Because in Antarctica, every discovery, no matter how small, reveals something extraordinary about the forces that shaped our planet and may still shape its future. You might assume the closest country would be the most important gateway. You'd be wrong. This is the story of Argentina vs. Chile, two countries that sit just a few hundred miles from the icy continent. But only one of them controls the path south. Let's begin with Argentina. On paper, they had everything in their favor. Ushuaia, recognized as the southernmost city on Earth, sits closer to Antarctica than any other major port. It's rugged, strategically located, and built for frontier access. But in 1969, Argentina made a critical logistical misstep. Instead of building their primary Antarctic air base on the coast, they established Base Marambio deep inland, on elevated, rocky terrain atop Seymour Island. No roads reach it. The winds are extreme, and the only access is his helicopter. According to the International Antarctic Logistics Review, more than 70% of Argentina's annual Antarctic operations budget is now spent just airlifting personnel, gas supplies, and equipment to Base Marambio. Weather delays are frequent. Expansion is difficult. And the base, while operationally essential, remains isolated and expensive to maintain. Meanwhile, Chile took a different path, and the results speak for themselves. Just across the water lies Punta Arenas, a city that invested early in infrastructure, aviation logistics, and international collaboration. Today, it serves as the central hub for Antarctic access. As of 2025, 22 countries and major scientific institutions operate their Antarctic missions through Punta Arenas, according to the United Nations Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. The city now hosts full-service logistics centers, customs processing, and multiple charter airlines authorized to fly directly to Antarctica. Chile also made a critical decision when constructing its main Antarctic base. The President Eduardo Frei Montalva Station was built on flat, accessible coastal terrain, with a runway that accommodates large aircraft year-round, even during short weather windows. Just as prehistoric predators once vanished during a massive environmental shift, another transformation is unfolding today. But this time we're witnessing it in real time. In February of 2020, something unprecedented happened. On Seymour Island, where terror birds once roamed, the daytime temperature reached 20.7 degrees Celsius. That was warmer than parts of Europe on the very same day. According to the update from the World Meteorological Organization, this event didn't just break records. It shattered long-standing assumptions about Antarctica's climate stability. And since then, warming episodes have become increasingly frequent, especially in West Antarctica, one of the most fragile ice regions on the planet. Glaciers are melting. Ice shelves are cracking. Sea levels are rising. These aren't distant warnings. They're already happening. Data from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change shows that Antarctica's ice sheet is now losing over 150 billion tons of mass each year. That alone is enough to raise global sea levels by several millimeters annually, pushing coastal cities closer to flooding with every passing season. Rising ocean temperatures are interfering with penguin breeding cycles. Thinning sea ice is shrinking krill populations, the foundation of the Southern Ocean's food web. Whales, seals, and seabirds all depend on them to survive. Even the ground beneath is shifting. Permafrost, once considered permanent, is beginning to thaw, releasing ancient microbes and stored carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. What was once frozen and untouchable is now unraveling, layer by layer. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.